All right, and for our final lesson of this unit and our final lesson on musical grammar, we're on page 48. We're talking about 8th note and 16th note groupings. We talked in the last lesson about beaming 8th notes and 16th notes and how you would angle them properly, etc. Now we're going to talk about how you would group them. And that does make a difference in terms of how you visually interpret the music. All right, so let's look at the first example together. 8th notes and 16th notes may be beamed in groups of 2, 3, 4, or more, and are always grouped in order to show where the beats occur in the measure. Ideally, we want to group 8th notes and 16th note beams so that we can quickly see the 4 beats in the bar or the 3 beats in the bar, or so we can quickly see the pulses, the grouped pulses, all right? So in this first example, we are shown 4/4 time, so we want to see 4 beats. We want to quickly see 4 beats. Here we see beat 1, we see a half a beat here, and then 4 16th notes beamed together. So the 4 16th notes certainly is 1 beat. Here's another half beat, which I guess is connected to this one, and then beat 4 at the end. All right, but we don't want to necessarily see 1, a half, 1, a half, and 1. We want to see 1 whole beat, another whole beat, another whole beat, and another whole beat. All right, that's why this visual representation, this beaming, is technically incorrect. What we want to see instead is this guy over here. All right, notice that it's the same music. It's a quarter note, 8th note, 16th, 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 8th note, quarter. It's exactly the same music as this. But since we have beamed them this way, now we can see there's beat 1, there's the first half of beat 2, and there's the second half of beat 2. That's why these are beamed together. These 2 16th notes and that 8th note, that comprises beat 3, and beat 4, of course, is on its own. To listen to this music, just have a listen to that rhythm here. Okay, I'm going to play the metronome. We're at about 60 beats a minute, so it's nice. It's slower, so you can hear the placement of these sounds. And 3 and 4. All right, you can obviously know where beat 1 is. Beat 2, of course, starts on the 8th note, but which of these 16th notes is the beginning of beat 3? It can be hard to tell quickly, visually, by having the music grouped this way. Listen to it again. 3 and 4. Okay, whereas when it's grouped this way, when it's written this way, I can see that I end beat 2 quickly and I start beat 3 quickly. So hopefully that gives you a better feel for when you're listening with the metronome. 1, 2, and a 3 and 4. 1, 2, and a 3 and 4. Right? So hopefully it makes sense visually too. 3 and 4. Okay, just in the same way, when we use a metronome, we're feeling the beats, we're feeling the pulses. We also, in our music, as much as possible, want to see the pulses. We want to see the division of these beats. All right, so this technically is the correct beaming structure. This would be incorrect, and I just explained the reason why. All right, there's another convention when you are beaming 8th notes. In 4/4 time, like a lot of music is, 8th notes should be grouped, can be grouped in 4s, over beats 1 and 2, and beats 3 and 4, but not over beats 2 and 3. So you'll see this rhythm, and it certainly might make visual sense to you. 1 quarter note, 4 8th notes, and a 1 quarter note, that makes 4 beats. Okay. But we don't want to beam across the midway point of the bar. Okay, you know that beat 1 is here, beat 2 is here. Let me just use the pen here. Okay, beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and beat 4. Generally, we do not want to get in the way of the midway point of the bar. We want to be able to see it, okay, almost as if it were a bar line on its own. Okay, so the correct way to draw this rhythm would be right here. We would separate the beam on these, all right? If beats 1 if beat 1 was also made up of eighth notes, for example, if we had this rhythm, okay, then certainly we could beam all 4 of these together. That would not be a problem, all right? But we don't want to put a beam across beats 2 and 3, all right? That's the gist, that's the point they're getting at, all right? So use those skills and finish up the worksheet here, all right? You need to complete each of these measures with eighth notes. So fill it up with eighth notes in 2/4 time, fill it up with eighth notes in 3/4 time, eighth notes in 4/4 time, and beam them appropriately so we can see the midway point of the bar here, we can see the midway point of the bar in 4/4 time. In 3/4 time, there really isn't a midway point because you have 3 beats, all right? So simply beam the first 2 eighth notes in beat 1, beam the 2 eighth notes in beat 2, and beam the 2 eighth notes in beat 3. A little bit of investigative work. Circle the measure here which is incorrectly grouped. So you know that we need to see the 4 beats and certainly see the midway point of the bar. So find which of these musical examples, rhythmic examples is incorrect, is beamed incorrectly. And then rewrite these measures correctly. Here's a problem with a rhythm. How should it look if it's written correctly? Here's a problem with a rhythm in 3/4 time. Do it correctly. And here's a melodic passage that is something is incorrect with it. Put it correctly here. All right. Last little bit of investigative work. Circle and explain the errors in this piece of music. And here they're not even telling you how many errors there are. All right. Over the last several lessons, we've talked about musical grammar and how music should look and how stems should go and how beams should look. So look for all of those things in this short little musical example, rewrite it, having fixed all the errors. And of course here, this is sort of a slightly bigger project because there are lots of things to look for. So we will certainly take this up in class and make sure you guys all know exactly what you're looking for. All right, thanks so much. That's the end of this unit. So we're gonna get ready for the upcoming theory test, and good luck. We'll see you in the next lesson. Take care.